of the press. My name is Jonathan Ebualu. I am the Member of Parliament representing Soroti City. On behalf of the Honorable Asuman Basalirwa and the other members who are unable to be with us here. In July 2023, Parliament granted us leave to introduce a private members bill, the Anti-Counterfeit Goods and Services Bill 2023. The objectives of the bill is to prohibit the manufacture, the production, the importation, the packaging, the repackaging, the processing, the labeling, the blending, and the processing of the counterfeit goods and services. The bill further intends to prohibit the release of the counterfeit goods and services into the commerce and to create offenses for dealing in the counterfeit products. We know that all of us are victims of the counterfeit, and I call upon you, members of the press, members of the public, the manufacturers, and the different brands, that we need to embrace this bill so that it can be enacted into law, because it will be able to help not only us, but it will help our children and our grandchildren. I will give you a quick example how we are all victims of the counterfeit goods and services. Number one, we have seen a number of accidents on our roads, but we don't ask ourselves what is causing all these accidents on our roads. We rush very quickly to blame the bodabodas. We rush very quickly to blame the drivers, but we forget that a number of the spare parts that we are using, the brakes, the plugs, and others, are counterfeit. We have seen a number of houses in Kampala and other parts of the country, houses built up to the ring beam, others even go ahead and roof, and then the houses collapse. We don't ask ourselves why. We go rush and blame the engineers, but we do not look at the products that were used for building such a house. The counterfeit cement, the counterfeit products that are used for building these houses. That is why I am telling you, we all fall victims of the counterfeit. Whenever we all go to the supermarkets and you buy a counterfeit product, whenever you go to a pharmacy and you buy a counterfeit medicine, you are going to swallow it, you're going to take it, but at the end of the day, I can tell you it has adverse effects on our health, including cancer and the rest. So this bill that we are introducing, it's a private members bill that we are introducing. We are bringing it to ensure that we sort out the issue of the counterfeit products in the country. So we carried public consultations all over the country, and I want to thank very sincerely our partners, the people who have helped us. First of all, I want to thank the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and then the members of Parliament that granted us leave to do the consultation. Secondly, I want to thank the Anti-Counterfeit Network, the ACN, led by my brother, the Council, Fred Mwema, and the Secretariat. They enabled us to move all over the country. They facilitated our movements until we moved all over the country. I want to announce that this has been the first ever private members bill to carry consultations all over the country. I'm sure even you, the press, you know that you have never seen a private member moving all over the country carrying the consultations. Therefore, I want to announce here that we started our public consultations from Mukono, we went to Bujiri, we proceeded to Mbale, we went to Soroti, to Kasese, to Mbarara, to Arua, to Guru, and then we had the grand consultation, the national consultation here in Kampala at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel. In all these places that we went to, we got overwhelming support, with even other traders and consumers telling us we delayed with the bill. But we want to say we have not delayed. This is the right time. We got overwhelming support. Therefore, due to the public demand, the report that we got from the consultation, it is now going to culminate into a public exhibition or expo that we are going to have here in Parliament on the 16th of October 2024. The expo is going to be graced by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among. And we are going to carry the expo on the theme, "We are all victims of the counterfeit." So we want to invite the different manufacturers, the brands, the consumers, the members of the press, the public, the members of Parliament, and all of us to join us on Wednesday in a public expo or exhibition that is going to be here at Parliament. We want to thank that during our consultations, we got a lot of support from a number of government agencies, from the Uganda Police, from the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, the number of regulators. So we want to invite all of you that you come and join us on Wednesday so that you are able to appreciate what is counterfeit, so that you can be able to differentiate between what is counterfeit and what is a genuine product. So we are going to do this on Wednesday. And again, I want to thank you very much, Council Fred Mwema, together with your team, the Secretariat from the SCN, that you have done us a great deal to enable us move all over the country, and we are sincerely very grateful. I also want to thank our number of our partners, like I said, Nile Breweries and others who were Pep Scholar and others who were able to support us in the process of the consultations. So allow me also to announce that we are now ready. We are now ready anytime we are going to go back on the floor of Parliament, and this will be referred to a committee that will process it in the 45 days. So I am certain that by the end of this year or beginning of January, we will be ready. But I want to tell you that by the end of this year, we will be ready with the law. In the past, we have seen people introducing such a private member's bill in Parliament, and a number of them have been shelved as far as 2009, 2015. But this one, I am certain that we have followed all the steps. We have been very thorough. I am very passionate, and the President will assent to this bill. I am very confident about that. So we called you here to brief you on the progress of the consultations, and then secondly, to tell you that we got the demand from the public that is now going to result into a public expo or exhibition that's going to be carried out this Wednesday. So I thank you. Thank you very much.
I think Honorable has emphasized that the exhibition, which will be the first of its kind in the parking of Parliament on Wednesday from 8 in the morning up to lunchtime. The purpose of the exhibition is to demonstrate the extent to which we have a problem of counterfeit and substandard, but also to demonstrate our collective support for the anti-counterfeit goods and services bill. The expo will have several exhibitors from manufacturers to traders to regulators from government, and it is open to the members of the public. So it will be graced by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, but it will also have in attendance several members of Parliament. The idea is for them to see firsthand the extent of the problem. So we would invite you as media and Ugandans out there to participate. What we are doing is very historic in terms of having a private members bill to fight counterfeit and substandard. Most of these laws are usually government bills in other parts of the world. This is the first private bill to protect against counterfeits. Honorable has mentioned the consultations that we had in the various parts of the country. This would not have been possible without the support of our partners, who I need to mention: NTV, Crown Beverages, Pepsi, Uganda Communications Commission, Uganda Breweries, and others. They are the ones who have made this possible to make sure that we can reach the people that we reached in the countryside. I can also add my voice to say that there has been overwhelming support for the law. Many people are actually very tired. Wherever we went, they were complaining why the law had taken long to be made. But this is not a day to discuss the report from the consultations. We shall be preparing a report which we shall hand over to the mover of the bill, Honorable Salirwa, together with the Honorable Bwaru. I believe we shall do this on Wednesday. And it is not us or Honorable Bwaru to decide what the contents of the law will be, because we just consulted the people to give us their views, their various views which were given. The final decision rests with the House. It is the House, for example, which will decide whether the punishment for counterfeiting is 10 years or life imprisonment, like some people have suggested. So overall, we are very happy to partner with Parliament. As the Anti-Counterfeit Network, we bring together stakeholders who affect and are affected by counterfeit. So we are happy that we are supporting the legislative process for such an important law. Thank you so much. For example, in health, the World Health Organization estimates that between 30 to 60% of the medicines in Africa, including anti-malarials, HIV drugs, it estimates, cancer drugs, it estimates between 30 to 60% of these drugs are counterfeit or substandard, what they call falsified. Now, a lot of and this causes mortality or death of between 500,000 to 1 million Africans every year. We are dying, even as we speak now, there is a child dying because of malaria, and the chances are that child is taking a counterfeit or substandard anti-malaria. The child is becoming anemic, losing blood, and then the child dies. So this is the impact of counterfeits on the health side. And this health impact also has an economic impact. Because if you are a mother and your child is sick, it means you will not go to work. So there is lost economic output, which for Africa is estimated about $40 billion is what we are losing. And the Honorable here will tell you that our 51 trillion shilling budget, for us, we estimate that up to 20–30% of that is wasted in counterfeits. When government allocates money for public infrastructure development, if they are fake, you get potholes, You get bridges collapsing, classrooms collapsing. So the impact is so wide. Unfortunately, there isn't enough research. There isn't enough research in this area. This subject of counterfeits is a bit ignored. So the Anti-Counterfeit Network hopes that when the Anti-Counterfeit Goods Bill is passed, because one of the objectives of the bill is promote awareness and research, we think we shall have a basis for research to obtain information. And I'm not even speaking about food, because food is the most important renewable resource we have to help us survive. But we have counterfeits in the food chain. Many of you these days, you hear that to be healthy, you must have a plant-based diet. But the plants are also being poisoned by fake pesticides. The chicken you're eating is also being poisoned by fake antibiotics. Everything is fake along the way. And then you ingest it and eat it. That's why we have a lot of issues for the ladies. A lot of your reproductive health issues, fibroids and so on, is coming from the food, it's coming from the cosmetics that we are using. And I want to say cosmetics are the most dangerous because every day you bathe. So if you use fake soap with asbestos, with parabens and lead, it goes into your system. So that is to the extent of the impact. But about UNBS, I want to report that everywhere we went, people were complaining about those institutions, UNBS, police, the courts, even lawyers were. Some people were attacking lawyers, saying you are the people who take the counterfeiters out of jail. And this is not a misplaced concern. There is challenge. There's a big challenge with the capacity of the government institutions to fight this vice. But I want to say that you should not leave this problem to UNBS alone, or URA or police. Because when this gentleman of Salt FM lives here and goes to buy something in the supermarket for his family, he doesn't go with UNBS, he doesn't go with the government, he buys on his own. Most likely, a lot of times, because we want cheap things, you even look for the counterfeit. So we, the consumers, also have a role to play. What is this law doing about it? This law is creating a partnership between the private and public sector to fight counterfeits. This law has provided a mechanism for interagency cooperation. There's going to be cooperation between UNBS, police, judiciary, URA, NDA, with each one looking out for the other. And also for us as private sector, we are given an opportunity to participate in this bill when you look at it. What are the key provisions in the bill? The bill is very important. It is defining counterfeits. You cannot fight something which is not defined. Until now, Uganda has been the only country without a law on counterfeits. So it is a very important thing that the bill is defining what a counterfeit is. How does the bill define a counterfeit? Honorable has already mentioned it. A counterfeit is that product that imitates the original. Anybody who is involved in the production, the marketing, the labeling, the repackaging, the blending, when you're duplicating something, that whole process, including the importation, including somebody selling products in packaging without a name. Some of you buy oats or cereals with a nameless. That is also a form of counterfeiting. So it defines counterfeiting, and how will it ensure that the government agencies do their work? It provides a responsibility for all the actors to do their work. And the beauty is that we are also going to be involved. So we shall be monitoring and pushing the agencies under the act to do their work. There is also an important element. The bill provides for public awareness to support the enforcement and implementation of the law. Once this law is passed, there is going to be a phase of going out to the public one, to educate you what a counterfeit is, to also help you to identify the counterfeit, and also to help you to do self-regulation, to see that you take action. Now, the question of if somebody buys a counterfeit in the village, what does the law provide? This bill, when it's passed into law, will cater for all classes of people. Those in Nakasero here, up to the ones in Mr. Ibanda's village, they are all part of the channel, the trade channel or distribution channel that the law deals with. So nobody is excluded. The issue of aiding and abetting means those who facilitate the counterfeits on the market. You can facilitate by the counterfeits on the market by transporting them, by offering storage, by broadcasting them. Some of you media houses, you don't do KYC. Somebody just brings an advert of a dangerous product and you broadcast it, because the media plays a very big role. So this law is saying that everybody should check themselves. Don't promote counterfeit. So that is called aiding and abetting. It is part of the offenses under the law. Now, the law is proposing a punishment of 10 years in jail. That is what the law is proposing. Before we have this punishment, we had some small punishments, 2 years, 2 million shillings under the Trademark Act. So 10 years. No, it is for counterfeiting. 10 years jail term for counterfeiting. If you participate in production of a counterfeit, marketing of a counterfeit, the bill is proposing 10 years. Though where we have been in the consultations, most people were saying counterfeiters are killers, so they should suffer death or life. But it's proposing 10 years. Then it is proposing a penalty, a fine of 5 times the value of the goods. If they catch you with goods of 1 million shillings and they are counterfeit, you pay 5 times the value. These are just proposals in the bill. The House will have to debate and see what is appropriate. But what is the purpose of these punishments? The idea of the law is to make it very risky for anybody to engage in counterfeiting. That is why we have those punishments. The whistleblowers. This bill is not a law on whistleblowing. I think we have some laws on whistleblowing for taxes and other things. At the right time, maybe it will be amended to provide for whistleblowing. But the law gives a responsibility for everyone, every citizen, to report a counterfeit if they see it. If you see somebody manufacturing something in his house and take it to the market and it's dangerous, you can report. Whistleblowing means that you want to earn something out of the report. This law is not providing for that, but it is enabling you as a consumer not to suffer silently with the counterfeit. You can actually report to the authorities. The last question, Sarah, was government portal. So what will happen? Government agencies, if you look at the bill, at the end there are about 20 government agencies which are going to participate in implementing this bill. From the medicines, the agricultural chemicals, to building materials, they are all part of this bill. So in a way, government is represented in the process of making the law and implementing it. So I expect that the agencies will ensure compliance on the part of government with the bill. After all, government is also a big loser with counterfeits, because right now we have a huge cancer burden. About 20,000 people die every year from cancer. Now that is a reduction on productive labor, but it's also increasing our public health expenditure. And also government officials, as you see, they also suffer from these things. So it is... Including taxes. Yes, including, because the counterfeiters don't pay taxes. They are not model employers. You will never see a counterfeiter with a proper address. Most of them are smuggling and so on. So we feel that this is a win for everybody. Like Honorable has said, everybody is a victim of counterfeits, so let us join hands to fight the counterfeits together.
As soon as this is passed into law, we will move all over the country to tell people what the bill is. Implementation is going to be done by all the inter-government agencies. It is not going to be only UNBS, not only the police, but all the other inter-government agencies, over 20 of them. So as the movers of this bill, we are again very grateful to this Parliament, to the ACN, to our partners, to the manufacturers, to the brands, to the media, the consumers. We are very grateful. We are going to report to Parliament on what we got from the public consultations, and then we are certain that this bill, like wherever we went, it has got a lot of public interest. A number of people, all of you are very interested in this bill. It affects every one of us. So there has been overwhelming public participation. So after all this, we will go back to Parliament. Like I told you, we are ready. We'll go back to Parliament. Thereafter, Parliament will debate and guide accordingly. So we want to thank you very much. On the implementation, don't worry. This will be implemented. What is important is to have the law in place. I thank you very much. Oh.